Thank you so much. Please give my beautiful wife a warm round of applause. Not only is she super successful, she's also the greatest wife and mother in the world. Shannon, I love you with all my heart. You are my happiness. So I have my arm around Muhammad Ali, and in his lap are one of my books. And all I could think about was when my dad set me down as a kid, and he said, "Son, there is nothing for free in the world. You have to work for it. There are no shortcuts. Now, do you have any questions?" Now, the news was blaring at the time on the television. And I said, "Yes, I do have a question." He said, "Shh, they're about to announce the lottery ticket winners." Today, I'm going to talk about how to be happy and successful at work. Now, I know that some days you're going to feel that the best part of your job is the fact that your chair swivels. Okay, I've been there. However, we spend most of our waking hours at work. Why not be happy there? Why not be successful there? Why not take advantage of all the opportunities that you were given and somebody else wasn't? Why not soar like an eagle? Now, I know some of you were saying, "Well, Mike, I'd love to soar like an eagle if I wasn't surrounded with so many turkeys at work," right? And some of you are thinking right now, "Mike, I do give 100% at work. 15% on Monday, 12% on Tuesday. If I go in on Wednesday, 4. But don't be the kind of person that when the alarm goes off in the morning, you think two thoughts. Should I get dressed or should I fake an illness? You know, George Carlin said that most people work hard enough not to get fired and make enough money not to quit. Don't be those people. We've all worked with lazy, unsuccessful people. I remember when I was in New York City, where I'm from, there was a guy who was such a character, like most New Yorkers are. He would sneak out the door early every day. And one day he turned to me and he goes, "I'm not running away from hard work. I'm too lazy to run." One time I was on a job and a lady got fired. And she said indignantly, "I can't be in a place that expects me to fulfill my duties of this job. What kind of a place is this?" So one of the most important things to do is to try to make your manager at work your friend. Take them out to lunch and pay for it. And you want to be a problem solver, okay? So nobody likes a complainer at work. So what I always tell people is to come up with solutions. Instead of walking up to your boss and saying, "Oh, I hate this, this stinks," say, "You know what, I have a challenge with this. So far, the solution I've come up with is this." Always come up with solutions. And if you're a manager, make work fun. Bring in a hula hoop and give it to the employee that jumped through the most hoops that day in order to make the customers happy. Take on tasks with enthusiasm. The universe does not owe you a living, right? So while you're there, you should shine and make the most of your opportunities. And don't be the squeaky wheel at work. We all know those people, right? That's a short-term fix. Believe it or not, we all are a brand. You can have a brand that becomes sterling, or you can be a brand that is toxic. It's up to you. You should celebrate your coworkers' successes. Why? Because when it's time for you to get the accolades, they're going to want to share that with you. You want to change your perspective. Now, some people work in customer service. And if you work in customer service, you could say, "Oh, great, I'm the one that's on the front lines. I get beat up all day long." But if you change your perspective and you say, "You know what? I'm one of the most important people in this corporate team," because of companies like the Ritz-Carlton and Apple, who have amazing customer service, that's how they attract and retain their clients. So if you change your perspective to understand just how you're important in that organization. Now be happy right now. Don't wait for a promotion at work or wait till you get a raise. I call that the Christmas present syndrome. So remember you were a kid and you got that present you were looking forward to, but about a week later, it didn't matter anymore. So be happy today. All we have is today. And one of the most important things, if you could all focus on me right now, that I could tell you about breaking up the monotony of work, please get this in your heart, is to bring in outside speakers. Now, I don't know where you could find one of those people, MikeDuffySpeaks.com, but I go around the country and I speak at corporations, and people always come up with me, and they always say, you know what, this was a great day. Thanks for coming out. And you can learn so much from bringing in speakers. Now, you want to take on a leadership role. And I would say that one of the faults of American corporations is that they do not teach leadership to their employees. Now, what does that mean, or how can you do it? Well, the next time you're at your job, look to your left and look to your right. Take care of those people. You be their leader, okay? In all the great companies in the world, there are crews. I call them diamonds in the mine. Maybe there's a crew in finance that shines because they've got somebody who cares about the group. Maybe there's somebody in marketing. You become that leader. What do you get from that? Self-respect, self-esteem, and you become happier as a result of that. I'd like to tell you the amazing story of bubble wrap. And that may seem somewhat random, but I think that everybody who works or everybody who's alive can find a great meaning in this. So in 1957, two engineers got together in New Jersey, Hawthorne, New Jersey, and they took 2 sheets of clear plastic and they ran it through a heat machine, and as a result, bubbles formed. And what they were trying to do is make a textured wallpaper. That was their $1 million idea. Believe it or not, they thought this was going to sell, and for 4 years, they beat their head against the wall trying to sell this garbage to people as actually something that you could use, right? But what they did was they asked themselves a better question. What they asked themselves was, who needs something that we have? And when they read a newspaper article about the IBM 1401 machine showing up to customers that had been waiting a long time, it was damaged, they said, that's the need we need to fill. And they had the gumption to march into IBM and say, we have this product. They didn't call it textured wallpaper. They came up with bubble wrap. And it's going to save your company from sending out broken machines. Because back then, they would wad up newspapers. That's what they did. And you'd get newspaper all over your hands. It didn't work, right? And so in business, no matter what you're working at, what you always want to ask yourself, this product that I have, what need does it fill? Who out there may actually find this useful? And if you come up with enough questions like that, you can rise to the top. You know, there's been a lot of talk about finding your why. I think that's very important to get you through your day. Now, why do we work? Why do we work for a living? Well, you got to pay your bills, right? If you have a family, you want to take care of them. But what about also associating your why with things that you truly care about? Maybe it's a charity. Maybe it's your house of worship. Whatever it is, say, you know what? I may not like today, but if I take a little bit of money from my daily work and I send it to that, I can make a difference. When you leave work, leave all your problems there. And one of the other most important things you can do is be happy outside of work. If you're not happy outside of work, you're not going to be happy at work. And it's okay to start at the bottom. Jim Zimer was the freight elevator operator at Harley-Davidson. He had a dream to be the CEO. Can you imagine the guy that opened up the door? And you know what? He became the CEO of Harley-Davidson. Jack Welch at GE was a junior engineer when he started. Not only did he become the CEO, he also is now one of the most influential business leaders in the world because he worked hard. But my favorite story out of all of them is good old Ursula Burns. Ursula Burns was born in the housing projects of the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Ursula Burns was born into a single-parent family. Ursula Burns' mother worked 2 jobs and was hardly even there. Ursula Burns started out as an intern at the Xerox Corporation. She impressed them so much that they hired her. But she didn't stop there. She rose through the ranks. She became the president of Xerox. She became the CEO of Xerox. She became the chairperson of Xerox. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that you can be whatever you want in life. You can make the story of your life change today with hard work, with determination, with patience. You can have the life that you've always dreamed. All you have to do is make the decision to be happy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.